customers, the consumer, the food handler, and the inspector. This is extremely important.
Yes.
Because now the perception of the people regarding food safety is very, very modest. Very modest. And we can we handle food very badly. And you can see how meat is displayed in the normal temperature, outside refrigerators, outside cold areas. Transportation for food is terrible.
Yes.
And even in our kitchen. Then all this awareness and basic food safety elements should be regularly reach the consumer, starting from kindergarten, starting from schools,
Yes.
and reaching mothers, because they are the most important element, because they are the one who is responsible on food in our homes.
Yes, Dr. Hussein. So, what ministry in Egypt is responsible for setting up such an establishment, the agency?
Right
is
now,
it the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Industry?
Right now, as I said, they are multi-authority from Ministry of Health, sometimes agriculture, industry, internal
It's kind
supply.
of a panel.
Right now, yeah, it is a mix which is very bad. And what we are offering is that to have a single agency which it does not really belong to any of them. It is independent, and it has board of trustees, which has 7 ministers, and from health, from agriculture, from industry, from even tourism, and internal supply. They are 7, headed by the Prime Minister.
And this is the National Authority for Food Safety.
Exactly, that's what we are dreaming with.
So what is the responsibilities of such an authority now?
Its responsibility will be only single responsibility, that the food Egyptian eat is not contaminant. Is only
So this is for now. So
yeah.
Do we need to establish another agency?
Yeah, no. We need to establish this agency, because this agency is not created yet. We're still struggling.
It's just a work in progress.
Yes,
right?
to make this agency true.
But Doctor, you said that it is being headed by the Prime Minister and 7 other ministers, including tourism, health, industry. So what more can we need? We have the Prime Minister, of course.
I don't know. We are
it should be easy to be implemented.
Exactly, but we're still having fights from whoever is making benefit from this bad situation we are.
So what are the main problems facing food safety now in Egypt?
Now?
Yes.
Ignorance, that's the main problem. Some individuals have real benefits of keeping the system the way it is. And you see, some people are against change, in a way. And situation is changing, whether you like it or not.
But who can be
benefiting?
Happen.
But the problem, it will take time. If more time we spend, it's going to happen because it is the right thing. I can assure you that is the only thing in the last maybe 10 years has been done very good in planning and have a good strategy was the creation of the food safety. And this could be one of the reasons why it is not established so far, because it is right.
The doctor, he said that some people are benefiting from the situation now.
Definitely.
Who are these people without naming names? How can they benefit from such a situation?
They are all known. You see, some of them, they are making benefits because they have there's a lot of money coming from that.
From which part of this
I'm
process?
not talking about the money which is under table. I'm talking about the money which is above table. We spend more money on testing the food, for example. For testing the food, we import from outside. What about the food which is we are handling inside? There's no real test for that because it's free. But the food is coming from outside. See, there is a lot of laboratories would like to go and
promoting the better quality of the exported goods, the imported goods. Instead of making our own food and producing our own quality.
No, that's not what I meant. When we import food, you got to make tests for the food, that the food complying with the standard. Then those laboratories, for example, they're making money with that. Okay. That money big part of it, it goes as like extra income for them.
Sure.
It's a huge,
lucrative industry in itself.
Billions of money.
Yes.
Then 10%, 20% of that money is big money. That's one thing.
Yes. Another problem is
that's only one thing.
Yes.
And many things like on the road like
we
that.
need to get rid of it in the future. But there's another problem called the hidden factories here in Egypt.
Oh yes, I would rather call them uncontrolled or unmonitored, unregulated,
yes.
or we do not know much about them. And the problem is that food must be controlled. Sometimes in many agencies, they would like only to regulate regulated ones. They want to inspect regulated ones.
Because it's easier.
And this is the problem. The problem of two folds. One fold that we eat food, whether it's coming from regulated or unregulated. Then, because we eat both foods, then both foods must be regulated and inspected. The second reason is it's easier for any producer to be unlicensed. And it's also the rule of the government. If there is corruption, then it's easier to deal with unlicensed person than to deal with licensed person. Then both sides, both corrupted sides, are in agreement that not being licensed is better.
And it will bring more money for them.
Yes, it works for better of these two sides. Our trend is to inspect and regulate food, whether it is licensed or not. Because consumer eat both food. And when you go and you buy food from market, you don't know if the food is licensed or not. If the store is licensed or not. Then the food must be all regulated and be treated the same way.
But we also know, according to statistics, that the government spends about 5 billion Egyptian pounds yearly on treating diseases affected by unregulated food, maybe, or food with lower quality.
The amount of trade in food in Egypt is 250 billion a year. 250 billion for the amount of food. What we are trying is just to have some decimal of that huge amount of money to assure to the Egyptians that what they eat is safe. There is cost, which is seen cost, and there is unseen cost for food contamination. The seen cost is part of what you mentioned, is the cost of what is the country pay for the budget to treat the sick people. The unseen, that's the effect of your health. If you have kidney failure, how much is that? You can count it. If somebody dies, how much is that? If a small kid became less intelligent and more stupid, how much is that cost? How that will cost the future? If you are losing engineer, if you are losing a good doctor, how much is that cost? There is a many undetermined cost for the contamination of food.
Yes, exactly. Dr. Hussein Mansour, the head of Food Safety Unit at the Ministry of Industry and Foreign Trade. Thank you very much for being with us today on Micros. And stay tuned for more to come on Micros.